I hope you like it too, and welcome to another episode where we share stories. The whole reason for wearing this today is because someone told me not to, and I was thinking, why don't they like it? Why can't they understand that things are leveling up, and the only way that non straight males can accommodate to this reality is through performance, right? Like, shout out to all drag queens of the United States. Like, they understood this game way before it was mainstream, and that's why we have the legacy of drag. So I thought about this thing for a bit, and I realized it's because he is currently going through his Saturn return, which I have already experienced. I am a mature person who has already experienced her Saturn return, just like Kangana. This is my portrait of the energy of Kangana. Like, she has her phone, she is relaxed, chilling in her palace of various palaces. Like, she probably has more than one hideout. Anyways, so her current project is called The Mountain Story in Himachal Pradesh, and you guys should check it out. Eat there if you can afford it, and say hi to Kangana for me. I love Kangana. So she survived a lot of trials and tribulations too as a Bollywood actress. And she has also been through her Saturn return. I feel like maybe the whole Sushant Rajput Singh incident, like where there was a whole conspiracy that somebody got him in India, occurred during her Saturn return, right? So like she really wanted to like put a stake in the case, even though she wasn't directly like hurt by it, right? Like she felt like she needed to stand up for her co-actor. So she appeared in a number of interviews, and her heroic stance really made me think of like how Salman Khan, which is written right here, Salman Khan is the only Muslim who can both be a hardcore character and also anything he wants because he's buff. He became buff later, but like during one of his pre-buff films, he actually set on fire a truck, and he was wearing like a proper light colored shirt. And Salman Khan probably got guidance from like a person who could see the future, because they knew if he didn't make that film during that year, somebody might frame him later for doing similar things, because people experience accidents. So then in that character at the time, he set a truck on fire, and then later on like more terrible things happen in regards to like communal violence, etc., and people were framing each other left and right. And then so Salman Khan can always say, I was playing a character. I was well I shout out birds. I was playing a Bollywood character when I set that truck on fire, right? Like, he won't be framed for actually setting a truck on fire. Unlike other Muslims who are less fortunate. Oh my God, look at that plane. Speaking of Muslims, Parnian said hi. Hello, Parnian. Hope you have a chance to be on a plane one day. Maa Agora Kali, and happy whatever to Kangana. I think one of the days is her birthday. I don't know which day. But yeah, today's topic is about fishing, right? This story came to me because my friend told me, I don't like your wig. He was talking about another wig, but I think in general he just doesn't like the idea of me wearing a wig. And so I thought, okay, he hasn't been through his Saturn return. He doesn't understand the trials and tribulations Salman Khan and Kangana had to go through to be who they are today. So this is my story about fishing in the Gulf. Not literally fishing, but with the PH. So fishing with the PH means फ्रॉड करना है. अगर आप लोग दूसरे की आइडेंटिटी छीन लेते हैं और फ्रॉड करते हैं तो वो PH फिशिंग बोलते हैं अंग्रेजी में, ठीक है? So here's Agora Kali. Let's get Agora Kali in the frame. So in this story, someone who had enough money to live in the Gulf took the identity of a local. वो लोकल की आइडेंटिटी से यूज़ करते हैं और दूसरे से चीट करते हैं. And I knew about this because I was one of the people who actually paid him through his sheikh identity. So a lot of people who understand the system know that, you know, you need a local sponsor in order to conduct business in the Gulf, which is not the case in the US actually, which makes the US much, I guess, egalitarian because you don't need that much startup money. But yeah, to start a business in the Gulf, you need a local sponsor. But how do the sponsors know that these people won't use this identity against them? That is the thing I'm struggling with. Like, why are they so confident with the way things are going? Why are they so confident that, you know, Trump isn't going to just say, oh, by the way, sell all of your information to the American Muslims and we're going to run the show from today onwards, right? The bird agrees. So that is the thing I am just so perplexed by, because back in January 2022, if you guys remember, there was a case in India. This genius, he created an open source app on GitHub. He created an app on GitHub and he used personal information from Indians to create an app to insult them. I'm not going to go into the details, but you know what I'm talking about. And he was from like this small town. He had no money. All he had was like a computer and coding. And he just used their information for his own like sick pleasure. It wasn't even for money. That's the thing. Money was not involved. He just wanted to like make a name for himself because he hated the people so much. He was just like, okay, let's go. So I feel like that energy is coming back with Aquarius, Leo axis, Rahu Ketu, because Aquarius rules technology and Kali is somehow linked to Saturn as well. So this story of this fishing guy happened during the my Saturn return. And when everything ended, like with me paying this person and then realizing, oh, it's all just like his idea of what things are going. By the way, this person is a Christian. This person is an Indian Christian, and he just saw that there's no way of winning playing it fair, so then he just took the shortcut. Which I guess is okay, considering that other people are also out there to steal his identity. You know, like it's like a game of cat and mouse, mouse and cat, Tom and Jerry. And he doesn't want to be Jerry, right? He wants to be Tom. So then he goes to a different country, and that could very much happen in the United States too. So I guess that's why the current administration is so bent on like making sure everyone knows who they are. Like back last month, I think there was a case of this like American Muslim woman. She had a child and she didn't go to the custody hearings with her ex. And then years later, her ex finally finds out where she ran away to with the child and then tracks her down and then fights for custody. And he won the custody battle. So now the child lives with him. And I feel like that case would have not gotten that much attention if it happened like in a different administration. But because Trump is just like, you have nowhere to hide. So then this case became like a sensation among, I guess, the immigrant community as well. And so in this fishing case, which happened during my Saturn return, Maa Agora Kali, this Indian Christian actually has a child. He has a child, but he still feels like, oh, this won't happen to my child because I have enough resources to prevent this from happening to his child. But seriously, people have memory. Like, people are not fish, okay? Fish can forget what happened in like 6 minutes, right? But then if this thing happens to his child, like, then he would understand, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't be fishing people who don't have like Gulf connections, and you know, maybe I shouldn't be shaming people who like wearing wigs on the weekend or whatever. So Maa Kali let us read something from this book. Okay. Akbar, your work is with Akbar, so you forget my body and concentrate on him. First, bend low to salute him. If he is pleased, he will offer you his hand. Kiss it. Then, to please him all the more, apply attar to his hand. Hina Akhtar is the best. All Muslims love Hina. When you speak to him, use Urdu if all possible. It was his court language. I also love to speak in Urdu, but you'll notice that when Akbar is within me, my vocabulary and style of speech change drastically. He was an emperor after all, and emperors are always found fond of flowery speech. Emperors are always fond of flowery speech. They are also fond of flattery if it is not too obsequious. So when the emperor asks you to admire his turban, describe its beauty to him in glowing terms. This is the part where they use a medium to talk to the emperor Akbar. Gosh, offer him a cigarette if you like. Hookahs are in vogue, but he has no choice if he wants to play about. In today's world, does he? Hookahs are so outdated, according to modern people. Akbar loved wine, so you can offer him drinks also. His wine was much different than ours, much sweeter and tastier, but if you offer it with respect, he'll accept it. Offer him music. Don't make the mistake of expecting him to appreciate modern music. It is just so much noise to him. Offer him classical Hindustani music, especially Raga Darbari or Raga Miyal ke Malhaar. These two ragas were specially composed just for Akbar by his court musician, the famous Tansen. If you can't sing or play an instrument, a recording will do just as well. Once he is feeling intoxicated from the attar, the tobacco, the alcohol, and the music, he will begin to talk about any subject which seems fit to him. Keep quiet and listen to him, speaking when he expects you to. Don't be argumentative. It will just sour his mood, and he won't be willing to do any work for you. Roshni used to wrangle with him, and for so long he would never come when she was around. Can an emperor permit any insubordination? Never. He may speak about anything. He may even tell jokes. Here's a sample. Do you know the main difference between the days of the Mughals and these days? Back then, before you started on a journey, you would take your horse or elephant aside and permit it to remove the liquid element from its bladder. Today, before you start, you must take your mount, for example, a motor vehicle, and put the liquid element into its bladder. Whether you think his jokes are funny or not, though they usually are, you must laugh a little to be polite. When he is finally satisfied and feeling ask you what you want. Don't hesitate. He is an emperor, and emperors know only how to give. They are famous for giving because it builds upon their reputation. Does anyone dare to give a better present than the emperor? So be bold. Tell him what you want, preferably material from life. You can ask him about the spiritual also, because he became very spiritual in his later days also. But it's better to stick with the mundane because he was the king of kings and the refuge of the world. There is no use for me to speak. Dozens of people have attended Akbar's Avishkaras and they have done their work. They had their work done. Any sort of work, passing exams, getting new jobs, removing thorns in the office, finding a runaway child, curing diseases, anything. He will ask each person present in the room what he or she desires and will spend time with each discussing it before he moves on to the next, just as if he were seated on his throne dispensing favors. That is why he is valuable, because he was installed on the throne. It was the throne which gives him the authority. Takt ki tasir is the Hindi phrase. The authority or power lies in the throne itself. Even his son Salim, he had a son named Salim. Even his son Salim, who got away with murder otherwise, had to tremble once in his august presence. So as long as you play along with the situation, your work will be done along with everyone else's. Finally, when everyone has been attended to and all problems have been dealt with, he will ask again 2 or 3 times, is there anyone left to ask anything? When no one replies, then he'll say, now I'm going to return to Sikandra, which is where he was buried. And he may say something like, when I was alive, I had authority over the whole of India, but now I am reduced to an ethereal form. All my worldly authority has disappeared. That is the way it always is with the world. Seek that which is beyond the world. Then you should salute him in the Mughal way. Head Bent low from the neck, palm raised to the lips, he will then return to his own place. Thank you guys so much for listening. Om Aim Hreem Kreem Chamundaya Viche. Om Aim Hreem Kreem Chamundaya Viche. Thanks for enjoying my Matangi video. Bye.